Welcome to Soccer As We Like It Qatar 2022. We have finally come to the end of one of the greatest events of all time in terms of global football and the beautiful game. The winner, as we've all known, is Argentina and Messi. Joining us today to discuss what is one of the best World Cup finals of all time. It might be, it is, it might be, or there might be one we could dig out and find out. But joining me today, the UK crew, starting with Kenneth. Welcome to the show, brother.
Kenneth isn't here.
Oh, sorry. Right, welcome. Let me welcome Richard.
You're
Welcome
right.
to the show.
You're right, yeah. Welcome.
Richard, welcome to the show.
Welcome.
Also representing UK's Vim. Vim, welcome to the show.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Not too bad. Representing Houston Red Army is the controversial one, Bemsy.
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
And we have Kay in the house representing the UK crew. Kay, welcome to the show.
What's happening?
Right. The World Cup has been decided. We saw third place yesterday, Morocco and Croatia, which was an all right game. It wasn't too bad. Morocco lost 2-1 to Croatia. Croatia took the third spot. Now we went to the final. France, current holders, against the people who wanted to actually win it, or should I say, everyone's, including the establishment's favorite team, was in for it. Right. Joining us is Devin from the United States, Tampa. Devin, welcome to the show.
Hi, how are you? Thank you for having me on.
We're right. Yes, we are ready to talk. Now, we saw the game. France, full time was 3-3 to both teams, and penalties. Argentina won by 4 goals to 2 on penalties. Vim, talk me through. What did you see in that game?
Well, I mean, you could have gone to sleep for the first half and not missed anything. It was a very unusual game. I just thought something just didn't seem right. Yes, okay, it ended well, and the game came alive in the 80th minute. But up until that point, this did not look like the France team we've seen throughout the entire competition.
Yeah.
So, whether something slipped into their diets, or whether their hotels were gassed, or whether there was some chemical warfare on a minor scale going on at their camp, I don't know. But it just seemed really fishy to me. And all I kept thinking about was what happened to Ronaldo, R9, in that final, how he had an epileptic seizure on the day of the final before.
Right.
I just thought something fishy is going on here, that this France team doesn't look like the usual France team. They weren't running, they looked dozy, their passes were off, they seemed... It's like they were just coming out of a hangover or something.
Right.
Something did not seem right. I don't know. I don't know what the panel thinks, but I just felt something fishy there.
Right. Let me run to the guys who are driving. Bemsy, what did you think of that game?
That game was it was pretty much Argentina for that whole first half. It was and then for a good part of the second half too. The game came alive, like 70-something minute when France kind of woke up and they got those 2 goals. But yeah, I agree with Vim. It didn't seem like the same France team. I looked at I did hear that there was a bug going on in the French camp. There was a bug or illness going on, so that maybe that's one of the reasons why it affected their performance. But you could tell that Argentina was they had the intention to go out and really want to win that game. They were pressuring France from minute 1.
Yeah.
They just, I mean, France didn't get a shot on goal till Mbappe scored, I think.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. They were if you looked at the stats, it was pretty much all in favor of Argentina on pretty much every aspect. It was crazy.
Yes.
But then obviously France came back thanks to Mbappe. But I mean, it was. I knew that France would come back. I just thought that those changes needed to be made, and those changes made the difference. Coleman coming in, taking Griezmann out, that made a difference. Taking Giroud out, those changes made the difference. Dembele wasn't coming back to defend. He was a big liability on that right wing. And then it kind of felt like Deschamps probably should have started a completely different, not a completely different 11, but there were a number of those players that shouldn't have started. But again, he made those decisions, he made those changes, and those changes made the effect on the game, and it made it more interesting. I just wanted to see a game that will go to penalties. I didn't want to see Argentina or France win it in 90 minutes. But I think it turned out to be one of the best World Cups ever, in my opinion. It was a really good game.
Right. Yeah. Let me go to Richard. Richard, how was it to you? What did you think of the whole game?
Yeah, first 80 minutes, Argentina pretty much were all over them. I think Kay was saying that it's been the poor watch for the neutrals, especially in the first half, and I agreed with him. But I was very uncomfortable with the way how things were set up for the final. The France players looked kind of sluggish, and it kind of coincided with the bug that was going around beforehand. I personally think that FIFA had pretty much set that tournament up for Messi to win it, right? It was clear as day. But then when Mbappe scored in the second half, the game came alive. It was end to end. It was absolutely brilliant. It went to the wire, but this guy was in goal, Lloris, and you can take the man out of Spurs, but you can't take Spurs out of the man.
I thought he was poor today, mate. I think he was poor. He was poor.
He's very poor. And if you look at a stat, he's not saved in penalty shootouts. I don't think he's saved one penalty shootout. So the odds were, the odds were against him. But at the end of the day, look, credit where credit's due. You know, Argentina, they fought their way to the final. Messi scored 7 goals, got all those assists. Fair enough, he got 5 penalties, but he was actually brilliant.
5 penalties. God damn! That's a lot of penalties, bro.
It's a lot of penalties. FIFA probably wanted it that way. He's won his World Cup. And he can retire if he wants today and have a look back at his career and say at least he's won the World Cup.
That's true.
I think that's what he wants.
Let me go to Devin in Tampa. Devin, how did you find the World Cup, mate?
Yeah, it was to me it was kind of boring for the first half. About 65th, 70th minute, it came alive. I thought that the Champs changes worked very well. I thought Lloris was very poor. I actually thought that Di Maria, unfortunately, as much as I don't like him,
he was a problem in the first half.
I was absolutely everywhere. Yeah, sorry if there's a lot of noise in the background.
That's all right. We understand you're out.
Yeah. Yeah. So but Mbappe was a man on a mission today.
I know, right?
What I tell people is Mbappe gets the match ball, but Messi gets the World Cup.
Yeah, it's true. That's true. Right. Let me go to Kay. Kay.
Yeah.
How did you find the game?
Yeah, like everyone's more or less said, first 3 quarters of the game were pretty crap. France, this was probably I know they haven't been amazing through the tournament, but this was their worst game. They weren't getting anywhere near Argentina.
The midfield was horrible in the first half.
Yeah,
what the hell?
They just looked way off the pace, chasing shadows. Argentina, they weren't amazing, but they were good. They were getting the ball late to Di Maria. It was causing issues. And once he made the changes and Giroud and Dembele went off, I was like, wow, Southgate, you need to watch and learn from a master. Like, he took off
you see, I remember I sent a text. I said, like, where they're going to get these goals from?
But you know what it was? It was the energy. And like people were saying, with the illness in the camp, they obviously talked about Giroud having a knee injury, and I think Dembele was one of the ones that had the bug. So I think he's probably thought, you know what, we're 2-0 down. You lot haven't got you're probably not in the right state. I need to change it and affect the game. And it changed it. They were getting a bit closer. They were fouling a bit more, but they were getting closer. And then I think the game just changed once they took Di Maria off. Their outlet went, and then France got back in the game, and it was just, it was one of the worst games I've ever watched, and it turned into one of the best finals I've watched. So yeah, and it's just a shame that
I was saying that I don't want it to go to penalties. Like a World Cup final, I've never known a World Cup final to go to penalties.
94 went to penalties.
Yeah.
Italy and Brazil.
It was that. That's when.
06 as well. 06 went to penalties.
Oh yeah, France and Italy, right?
Yeah. True. But I
always remember that one with the Zidane headbutt. I forget the complete.
Yeah, I forgot about that as well. Yeah, but I was just like, and Mbappe to score a hat trick and not win it. That is heartbreaking.
Yeah, that is.
Like, and it's just, the chance at the end.
Did you see that the France chance the last minute of extra time? That guy should have finished the game.
Wrong person, wrong time. If that was Mbappe or Giroud or Griezmann, they're not smashing that. They're a bit of a cute. But Martinez was amazing for them, and he was the difference. Like Richard
the goalkeeper, he was good.
Lloris hasn't saved in however many competitions, and I think they said at the end that Argentina, I can't remember if it was in competitive games in the World Cup, 6 out of 7 they've won on penalties. So it just shows you history was on their side. Messi, it was written for Messi to win it. To get 5 penalties in a World Cup, I bet that's not unheard of.
I don't think that's been heard of before, mate.
Yeah,
5 penalties.
So, well done to Messi. The fairy tales ended with him winning it. Well done to France for making it an exciting second part of the game and extra time. And I'm a bit gutted that it's over now. Actually, it was. I know a lot of people were upset that the World Cup's on over this period, but now it's going back to watching United versus Burnley.
United and Burnley. Why did you have to say United and Burnley?
Charlton versus whoever it is. Like we've gone from watching Mbappe and Messi play to watching I don't even know who'll be playing for United. A lot of players will still probably be on holiday, so it's going to be a bit of a.
You can watch some PSG if you're really missing them.
No, I want to be the standard, like the
level.
Yeah, because a lot of the players are not even going to be back for United.
Yeah, that's very true.
It'll be interesting, but it's been a good competition. It's been enjoyable, and hopefully we see some more competitions like this. And it just showed that the players playing not at the end of the season, a lot of them had a lot more energy and were a bit more robust. So it was good to see them playing. It'll be interesting to see if they do it at the start of the season. That'd throw up a lot of curveballs, but it was good.
For a World Cup that was played in December, I thought the whole tournament went okay. I thought it went okay. They had its normal scandals and hearsay, human rights. We saw that shocks. I thought it was a good World Cup. The timing, was it great? No, disrupted so much leagues all over the world. But I think the final now showed it was a good game. I'm going to ask everyone, Argentina's first penalty. Okay, was that a penalty? When they touched Di Maria, was that penalty?
Do you know what? If he looked for contact, if you go by the letter of the law, you can give it. But I've seen so many of them not given, and it's just the inconsistency for me. It's almost like he initiated the contact, and there was one where they got. It was almost like was it Thuram at the end where he's almost
in
died.
Extra time.
It was similar, but obviously Di Maria was a bit more cute about it, so. It's just not a nice thing to see in football. People diving, like trying to win penalties. Like go back to where penalties were like given for being a proper penalty. So, but they were always gonna. Someone said it before the game kicked off. I'd seen they were gonna get a penalty in this game. And
I thought that was me. That was me. I knew they would get a penalty. There's no how, no way.
Yeah, exactly.
Richard, Argentina's first penalty. Was that a goal? Was that a penalty?
At first, I didn't think it was. It was soft, but at the end of the day, when you look at the replays, there was some slight contact, and someone like Di Maria is always going to make a meal out of it.
100%.
It's a World Cup final at the end of the day. The World Cups are on Argentina's side in general, so if there's any touch, why not go down? Like Kay said, it's not nice to see, but this is part and parcel of the game, unfortunately. And he did clip him. It was very soft. It could have gone either way. Probably on a lot of occasions, it probably wouldn't have been given, but when you look at the slow motion replay, you see that he was caught. But I just
he made the meal out of it.
Really soft. He made the meal out of it, exactly. Yeah. So it kind of spoiled the game initially at the start because it gave Argentina the momentum. But
it was quite early. It was quite early. It was an early one.
Yeah, and France really could have sunk after that. But credit to them for coming back.
Tim, just to add to that, the penalty, it never went to VAR, which I find quite interesting.
Yes,
Like,
it didn't go to
final,
VAR.
it didn't go to VAR. It just reminded me of the Tottenham Liverpool game where they scored and it ruined it.
That one is speciality for him now. Will you want to share?
Who's there? Can someone mute, please? Right. Bems, Argentina's first goal, the first penalty, was that penalty too soft or was it?
I mean, the thing about it is that there was contact, right?
Yes, Di Maria.
There was contact, and I can't remember if he was already going down before the contact or the contact happened just right before he went down.
He wasn't going down.
Oh, he wasn't going down before the contact.
He was looking for it. He was looking for it.
He was looking for it. Dembele is so stupid. There were two French players in front of him, so there's not much Di Maria is going to do. And this fool went to go clip him because.
But that's what happens when you got forward players in the box.
Yeah,
defending.
Exactly. The thing about it is, right? If you look at it really, I mean, it's kind of like he's asking. It's kind of like he's asking for you to.
Yeah, I dare you.
He's asking for it. Like,
I
dare you touch me, and you actually go and touch him. So it's one of those situations like you actually went and touched him, and obviously it's going to be given when you see a situation like that. It's 9 times out of 10 it's going to be given.
Right.
So I mean it was soft. It definitely was soft.
All right. Ken, welcome to the show.
PK, it was a penalty, and so it's going to be given.
Yes, hello.
How are you?
Hello, guys. I'm doing very well. Yourself?
How did you find the game, mate?
Yeah, I was just I was speaking to Richard. I was actually, I've always supported Argentina.
Yeah,
like,
you said so. We saw that. We saw your big banner last time.
Until my father-in-law opened my eyes this afternoon, and I just regretted it.
Oh, wow.
I didn't know before today. I didn't know that Argentina were are still a very racist country.
They are. It's a no fact. Yes.
Yeah, I did not know. It was an eye opener, like to realize what they did and what they're still doing. Because I've always had this thought around why they didn't have any, like, there's no black players even on the bench or even amongst the fans.
Not going to happen.
Yeah. So it's just kind of, I do
especially when you look at the other South American teams. Okay.
Yeah.
I think they're the only one. I think them are literally. Mexico barely use black players.
But Ken, if you can share what your uncle said, it'd be interesting to hear. What are they doing? What are they?
Okay, so Rich probably knows a bit more because Rich was aware of this. I didn't know, but apparently when slave trade was abolished, they basically took they had this mantra to get rid of all the black people in the country. So they sent them to forests to be devoured by wild animals, and the ones that managed to survive it, they actually killed and got rid of them. And even as it stands, I think even in parliament and everything, black people are not supposed to get to the top. They're very restricted. So they don't even have any black people in positions of authority, or even in menial positions as well. They just don't want them. And you can see there are videos as well circulating around the victory with France, and how Mbappe is African, his mom's Nigerian, and his dad's Cameroonian, and all this stuff. Just have to. Yeah, it's just so bad from what I've seen.
Yeah. And this thing about devouring in the forest, when did this? Was this recently?
No, that was back in the slave trade days.
It was quite a while.
Sorry, so this is what, 50, 60? When did it end over there?
About over 100 years.
Yeah, but it's still
within the past 100 years.
The issue is it's still ongoing. It's till today. It's still ongoing. Yeah.
Wow.
And it's just, and that belief is kind of bred through to the children and passed on.
Oh yeah.
Because when you look at Argentina, you don't even think there's people of color there.
Yeah.
Every
No.
Argentinian person
Yeah.
you see looks white.
Yeah,
Guys,
Yeah.
There
I
are people
find
of color.
I find a program. It come on about 3-4 years ago. It was something like the Forgotten Black People of Argentina, and it was like when I watched, I was like, God damn! You don't realize that there's a lot of black people in Argentina, but they don't make it known in any media or public place. They almost it's like the Aborigines in Australia. They try and like
extinct. Try to make them extinct.
Yeah.
Non-existent.
Forget-
Right.
yeah, sad man.
Right, that's a very political situation. It is what we deal with every day in the world. It is what it is. Sad, but that's the reality. Richard, I was gonna go.
Yes.
Let's go back to Kenneth. Kenneth,
Yeah.
we're gonna say Argentina's first penalty. Give or take, too soft or Di Maria looking for it? What was your take on that?
Yeah,
penalty?
it was a stupid challenge, wasn't it? You know,
Dembele.
if you make a challenge like that, then yeah, you're asking for a decision, right? Like top defenders will tell you that you should not make or give the ref a chance to make a decision. You should not make him, you know, basically make a decision. And he gave him the chance to make a decision, and that's what it is. It was a penalty. Yeah, I'd say it is what it is.
Vim.
I mean, yeah, it's a little. Di Maria put his leg out to make contact, so yeah, he was looking for it, and the person that he had gone past, I can't remember which player it was.
Dembele.
You can't make a challenge like that from the back and just
You
stay
can't
away.
except when you're behind him.
Yeah, but that's just his naivety. I mean, for me, Dembele has been pretty crap throughout.
I think he's been.
Anyway.
I think he's had a poor tournament.
Yeah, he has.
I don't think he's done what he should expect. So it goes to 1-0, then 2-0. The second goal, I think the second goal, Argentina. I thought that was well played. I thought they just split that defense. It was 2-0 at that point. And Di Maria doing that crap he does all the time, but it's what it is. But at 2-0, did anyone think the game was done? Bems.
I thought the game was done. Yeah,
you saw me. You saw my text in WhatsApp to you guys. I said this is over.
No, you know what? You know what? Actually, where the bar while I watched the game, right? I was actually saying from the get-go, I said this game is not over.
Wow, even at 2-0?
Even at 2-0, I was saying this game is not over. I said this game can change at any moment. All you need is a goal from France, and the game changes. If Argentina went up 3-0, then it would have been over.
Yeah.
But at 2-0, I said, nah, there's no. For me, it just felt like, I know it was just set up for MESI, but at the same time, this is 4 years ago. They've been good.
I'm losing you.
And then just lay over and let Argentina just run all over them. Just didn't make any sense to me. It just didn't make any sense. And then when I saw Deschamps making those changes, I was like, okay, it's just a matter of time before something happens. And then obviously Argentina going to get comfortable with their 2-0 win. And then that's when France will take the opportunities. And man, 2-0, like, I mean, those two goals were like back to back. That right there was like, okay, yeah, now the game started. So for me, the game didn't really start.
Yeah, to the 80th, the two goals came back. Yeah. Right.
And even when Messi scored, make it 3-2 in the extra time, there was 10 minutes left, and I told guys, I said, guys, there's still 10 minutes, anything can happen. And Mbappe made it 3-3. It's just so sad that France couldn't win it. And you know what? There was an opportunity for France to win it in the last minute.
Yes,
there was
that guy. I don't remember his name.
Man, just square it.
I mean, Mbappe was to his left. He should have just.
He was right there. He was right there. That was like sign, seal, deliver, game over. Mbappe scores that. But the guy he didn't pass, he took it on and he missed.
So,
yeah.
Richard, at 2-0, was it game over for you?
Yeah, I thought it was game over. I thought that France looked really sluggish. I thought after the second goal, Argentina could go on and score another one. France's defense looked all over the place. It looked jaded, maybe because of the suspected illness. I don't know, but they just didn't look at the races. Mbappe wasn't even having a sniff on goal.
Not
So I
at all,
thought-
mate. Not at all.
Yeah. So when you made the substitutions, I personally couldn't see where a goal was coming from, to be honest, because Mbappe
Giroud and
constructed-
Dembele out. I don't know where the goal is going to come from.
Yeah, exactly. And Mbappe is France's main threat, but the Argentinians done their homework. But he came alive, say like from the 77th minute onwards, and he was absolutely brilliant. But I just couldn't see where a goal was coming from France. So I was actually surprised. But yeah, even when France did equalize, I still kind of had this sinking feeling that Argentina would win. It was just destined for them to.
At 3-2, where were you at 3-2? When it went to 3-2? When Messi scored?
Yeah, when it went to 3-2, I was like, yeah, France will get another goal.
You still thought an equalizer would come back?
I thought an equalizer would come back, but I didn't think they would win on penalties. I just knew that trophy was going to Argentina because it looked like that's what they wanted. That's what the authorities wanted. The referee, I don't know. It was just destined that Messi would lift that trophy.
Right, Kenneth. At 3-2 and 2-0, where was your thinking at that point?
Yeah, 2-0. At 2-0, I thought game done because knowing Scaloni, he's very, very pragmatic. Like, he knows how to shut up shop and he can play defensive just to get the result he wants. So I thought couldn't see France coming back, but then
I could not.
My father-in-law and I were talking, and I said, "Look, if France can get an early goal in the second half, this was at halftime."
Well, they didn't.
Then maybe they didn't. So yeah, but then that penalty was a game changer, and I was surprised that Argentina. I thought, okay, that's it. Argentina will sit back now and see it out. Yeah, but then 2-2, and then when Messi made it 3-2 to answer your question, I thought, yeah, game done. And then when Mbappe scored, I was like, what is this? But yeah, you're right. France should have, that chance. What's his name again? The guy, the substitute that came on. When he shot straight and he Martinez saved. He
should have.
That was the chance to win the World Cup. That was the chance. Because if you look at Martinez, look at I think Rich posted an interesting stat in the group about Hugo Lloris. He's the De Gea of France. He's shocking at penalties. He's definitely the De Gea of France. He's not good at penalties.
Doesn't do any shootouts.
Whereas on the other hand, you got Martinez.
Is good though.
When it comes to penalties, he does everything, like all the tricks. He pulls out all the tricks and all the.
Isn't it true that he goads the penalty takers? He says stuff to them.
Yeah, in the Copa America, especially, that's what he was doing.
Yeah,
he was doing that today. Yeah, so
and then he does that shimmy.
Did you not notice what he did to Tchouaméni? He got the ball, took it to the line, and
threw it away.
Yeah. And he got a yellow card for that.
Yeah, it's all mental.
It's all mental. We should bring him to Man United, man. He's brilliant.
He's a good goalkeeper.
He's not good.
Who's the goalkeeper? Where does he play his trade?
He's a good goalkeeper.
Aston Villa.
Arsenal.
Yeah, man. We should just poach him.
Remember?
He's the Arsenal. Yeah, Arsenal let him go.
Yeah.
Remember last season we were 2-0 up, and what's his name? Coutinho scored 2, and we had a penalty, and he saved it. I can't remember who took it.
Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes. And then they did that little dance at the end.
Yeah.
Last kick of the game.
Damn.
Yeah, he's
literally the last kick of the game.
He saves penalties all the time in the Prem, Martinez.
Okay.
Yeah, remember at Old Trafford last season when we got a penalty and it was a debate between Ronaldo and
Bruno. He skied it.
He put him up and he blazed it up and he was dancing.
He did the Harry Kane.
So, Kay.
Yeah.
3-2. Was it over for? Did you think it was over for Argentina? I do think it was done.
Even before 3-2, 2-0. I was like, this game's done. He made the sub.
You saw. I said it's done.
I thought they might get a chance of
consolation goal.
I was looking at the bench and thinking like, who can come and do anything in this team? So I was shocked. But then once Mbappe got 2 goals, I was like, listen, Mbappe is not gonna let these guys off. Hat-trick in a World Cup final. I was like, this guy's gonna find a way to do something. And but when Messi scored in the last.
I think there was a mix-up in the defense. I don't know what Lloris was doing.
Do you know what? It was just the guy was offside for the first phase, but the second phase, because he didn't touch the ball, he was onside. So I think the players got confused, and then yeah, I just don't know. Like France's back line let them down, innit? No Kimpembe and no the better Hernandez, the crap Hernandez was on, innit? So
yeah, Varane didn't have his best game, you know.
No, he didn't have his best game.
He's
been
out for a while, innit?
struggled.
But even Varane wasn't his normal self. He was he gave the pass away quite a few times. He doesn't do that normally.
He wasn't commanding as we know him to be.
But there's something not right with all the players. Even he gave a pass to the right back, and it was 3 or 4 meters ahead of him. He doesn't do that normally.
He was one of the guys
that was sick.
Yeah, he was one of the guys that fell ill.
Illness, yeah.
I got a feeling they all fell ill.
You got to remember, in that team, Kante and Pogba come and get the ball off like quarterback.
Yeah, but
there was none of that to help.
That's all fine. That's the last competition. In this competition, Kante and Pogba have not played. And this is the worst performance I've seen from France.
This is the worst France team I've seen in a long time.
You got to remember, with the illness, I think a lot of them were just drained. I think there are a lot, because I think how many players in that starting 11 that were.
Yeah, but what is this? What's this illness? All we hear is a bug. What is it?
It's like what happened with Tottenham, innit? Last game of the season where Arsenal they got a bug, and then all of a sudden Arsenal take 4th place.
Yeah, but I'd like to hear more about this bug.
No, you can Google it. You can Google it.
What?
Someone got some brown envelopes to the chef, mate. That's what happened.
Yeah, the chef or the hotel staff.
Because you got to remember those competitions.
Maybe the water.
They don't prepare their food, innit? They'll not have a chef doing it.
I thought the countries bring their own. Don't the countries?
Yeah, but the way they source the food will be from internally. It can get contaminated internally, innit?
Right.
It'll be quite easy to do as well, especially the totalitarian
So
states.
we now went to penalty shootouts. Yeah. When I saw that French guy, the guy who took the second one, I said, this guy doesn't look confident at all.
Coleman.
Yeah. He didn't look confident. He looked nervous. And you could, sometimes when you see a penalty takeout, you could see what's going through his mind. Like, the same thing I said when Van Dijk stepped up. I said, nah, first of all, he's too close to the ball. He ain't going to score this. And
who's that Coleman? That's exactly what my wife and I, we were watching again. She was like, he doesn't look confident. I was like, yeah.
Confident. You know, whereby you're hoping like I hit this hard, and I hope it goes in.
And you know what,
guy?
And you know what? Players with no confidence. How you know they're not confident is when as soon as they put the ball down, like they just want to take the kick. Like it's rushed. It seems a bit rushed.
Yeah.
Whereas the confident guys, they think about it, deep breaths, and just
yeah. You could literally just see you could see those players that this guy ain't gonna make.
But you gotta remember, World Cup final. This is where the substitutes, the big players like the Griezmanns, the Girouds, these are the guys that you want on for penalties. But it just didn't work out. That's why when it went to penalties, I was like, knowing Martinez is good at penalties, I was just thinking, I can't see many of these French players scoring.
Because I saw when the whistle went, you could see Mbappe's face because I think he knew like this. We should have won this game in that last minute, extra time. Because that guy had the chance to win the game. He shot straight up. But this is the World Cup. But I think it got people off the seats.
Yeah,
the fans were shocked. Like, they couldn't believe
the best ever final. Yeah,
I think it's one of the best finals ever I've seen.
I don't think so.
Which one would you think surpassed this in terms of excitement?
I don't know, but if this game had ended
90 minutes,
2-0,
it would be boring. Oh, that would be horrible.
It would have been the worst ever. So
yes,
I mean, it only came alive for the last
10 minutes.
10 minutes,
and after that, the excitement was. But
why does it take that long to change a game when this France team had been fighting hard for this competition? They were the fastest starters in this competition. They got through the group stages pretty easily, very convincing. So for their performance to suddenly go backwards like this, right at the final stage as well, final stage of the hurdle, that just doesn't seem right.
I think Di Maria was the difference. As much as I dislike that guy, he tortured them so much in that first half. The first half, he gave France a lot of problems down that left side.
Mbappe didn't apparently touch the ball in the first 30 minutes.
No, he didn't. They didn't even have a shot on target till the goals came in.
Yeah, they couldn't get the ball forward.
Yeah, but we have to give Argentina credit because I think before the World Cup, before the World Cup, they were on a 36 game unbeaten run.
Unbeaten run, yeah.
Yeah, so they were very strong, you know, very
they
strong.
had until Saudi Arabia broke that
first game. But they always say in tournament football, if you peak early, it's never good. You've got to sort of get on the rise and peak. Once you want to peak at the semis or the final.
And from quarterfinals when you want to start,
because Messi scored in every knockout game, didn't he?
Yes.
And every stage, from the group stage,
and that's what you need. You need your big players to step up. So,
did France have any big players today apart from Mbappe? I think Mbappe needed. And you know they took off Griezmann, which was another thing I thought like
he's been a star player in it, but Griezmann didn't look at the races today. Like, so I don't know, man. And it reminded me of the France game against Switzerland, where they were 2-0 up and France took off Griezmann.
Yeah.
And then Switzerland came back and they lost on penalties.
Yeah.
It was exactly almost carbon copy. Like 2-0, the game's not done.
It isn't done. 2-0 is actually it doesn't guarantee you're gonna win the game.
It's the worst scoreline.
People say, I never believe, but I begin to believe 2-0 is not a great lead in terms of football.
You naturally drop off and think, oh, we got a cushion. You don't think, oh, 2-0, I'm going to go for another one. Right, it's hard. It's subconscious, isn't it? So.
Right. Chris, welcome to the show.
Evening, everyone. How's everyone doing?
Not too bad. We're trying to digest the contents of what we just saw. Tell me how you feel about this whole game. Was it a great game? Just tell us what you thought.
Yeah, I thought it was a great game. A lot of drama, pretty much typified the whole of the World Cup itself. And it's just been very unpredictable. A lot of goals, a lot of excitement. It's just you don't know what's going to happen from 1 minute to the next. It was the final pretty much epitomized the whole of the tournament. I thought that, well, before the game, we all spoke in the group, and I did think that Argentina were going to win it.
Yeah, you did.
There were a lot of stuff that were favouring them, and a lot of questionable decisions leading up to where they got to now. I wasn't well. Otamendi made a mistake. I've been talking about him for the whole of the tournament. He's been a disaster, but somehow he's won the World Cup. It is what it is. It was inevitable that a mistake was going to come through him for them to allow France to come through, and then he went to the penalties and my drama. But as soon as he went to penalties again, I just didn't fancy France because of Martinez. Martinez
right. Everyone said that he's such a good goalkeeper.
He's got an unbelievable record. Yeah, he's got an unbelievable record and penalty record. And look at the mind games that he's doing. He would do anything in order to win, just as long as it's within the boundaries of the game.
Right.
But in terms of the whole tournament, I don't think there was any team that really stood out. I think Argentina were playing knockout football from the second game. Even France, they didn't really play well throughout the whole tournament. With France, they win when they're not playing well, and they score goals in moments. They have moments in games for like 10, 15. Yeah. England game, that's actually one of the best games I've seen England play in the World Cup for a while. England really should have won that game, but they didn't take the chances, and this is football. You don't take your chances, you pay for it. So France were clinical, and they've done what they needed to do.
Right.
Based on the whole tournament, I can't really say Argentina were the best team, but with the World Cup, it's not always the best team that wins.
This is going to America. I'm gonna. It's going to. I'll have to put this in the post and get courier to drop you off in the morning out there because it will be leaving to the museum tomorrow morning. So at 2-0, Chris. At 2-0, was it game over for you, or you still thought something happened?
I thought it was more or less game over, but I didn't want to say it. It's interesting because there was in one of the groups I'm in, the cousins group. I put like a little one of these emojis where you got like the hand over the mouth. I sent that in the group. I did it on purpose, and then what happened was Mbappe ended up scoring 2 more goals, and he went into extra time. But I still
at 3-2 then. So let me ask you, at 3-2, where were you thinking at 3-2? Game over still?
No, I didn't think it was game over. I didn't think it was game over. Somehow, some way, I thought I was going to go to penalties, but I couldn't see France winning on penalties. I couldn't see it.
Wow.
Yeah, somehow, somewhere, Argentina were going to win it on penalties. But throughout the whole tournament, I was going back to what you were saying. Like they've been playing knockout football from the second game of the tournament. They're just grinding out results. They're not really. There's nothing really special about them. It's just, yeah, I get Messi's there.
Five
He's
penalties.
like yeah. What can I say? Well, the tournament, you've got to admit, even though there's no like substantial evidence that's, well, we can see some of the evidence, some of the stuff that's been going on, but there's nothing that you can say that, yeah, that's a fact that you can bring it up as evidence to court. But we can all see that it's all set up for Messi to win. We can all see that, and I'm a Messi fan, and I can see as well. I can't say that it's.
What can you see? What can you see that it's set up for him to win? What did you notice? Well, I'm in agreement with you, by the way. But what have you noticed?
Well, the thing is, for me, like there's a lot of, for example, Messi, when he makes some fouls, he doesn't get booked. The Holland game, that was a blatant yellow card. It should have been a yellow card, and I'm a big Messi fan. Even the game today, he should have got a yellow card in one of the fouls that he did. And look at the Saudi Arabia game, that penalty that they got. That's minimal. That's like those kind of challenges happen so often during the game in the penalty area, and the fact that they got 5 penalties for the whole of the tournament. Don't get me wrong, I'd say about 2 of them. Yeah, you could say.
Chris, there was one thing where I think it was Kunde. He jumped, and Messi jumped into him, and the ref gave the foul to Argentina, and it's like Messi jumped into the guy.
I remember that. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, it was. It was. A lot of things were favouring Argentina.
Even the one where the guy got away from Messi, like almost bear hugged him and pulled him to the ground.
Yeah, he never got I remember that as well. Yeah,
I remember a few times. Right.
So it's so many referee decisions that I keep saying favor Messi. I don't know if they're scared to book him or scared to give him a yellow card, because the game against Netherlands, he should have got. There's no way, no league, you won't get a yellow card for deliberately stopping the ball with your hand. That's a yellow. But they didn't even Louis van Gaal said it's just stupid, but it is what it is. You know? But this is the football.
But the thing is, the referees are all employed by FIFA.
Right.
And, you know, as Darren said in the last pod, you know, to have a job at FIFA is considered to be quite lucrative. So if your employers are telling you to show favor in this way, without making, you know, being too obvious about it, saying, yeah, you know, favor Argentina, if your employers are telling you to go that way and, you know, decisions should lean towards this team, what do you do if your employers are telling you to do this? Well, obviously it's all unofficial. It's not going to be in your contract.
I was going to say, what did you guys think of the ref today? Did you think he had a great game? Do you think it was inconsistent? Let me go with Vim.
I think the refs throughout this whole competition have been inconsistent. I think the refs have been pretty bad at most games. The ref at the England-France game was awful. So I think the level of refereeing within FIFA is pretty atrocious.
Well,
it's not at the standard of Premier League or Champions League.
Wow,
and that's a big problem for this organization.
What would you think about today's referee?
It's inconsistent as with the other ones. I don't think he didn't make as many howlers as some of the other games, but still you can see there's favor towards a particular team that wins the World Cup. But it's an endemic problem within FIFA, I believe.
Right. Richard, what do you think of the ref's performance today?
I thought it was average, to be honest. He gave 2 penalties in normal time. In the first 120 minutes. But if I'm going to be completely honest, Argentina's penalty was a penalty. It was very soft, but when you look at the slow motion, there was contact, so I think that was a penalty. Then Mbappe won. He had 2 penalties, sorry. Mbappe had 2 penalties. Both penalties were stone cold penalties. So I think that the ref done okay. But there were some decisions that were in Argentina's favour. Like, for example, Messi, I think, should have been booked in the second half the ref was too scared to give him the card. And also, Argentina were winning a lot of fouls when they shouldn't have been. So it was like that from the start of the tournament for Argentina in general. So I would say that the ref's performance today was probably a 5 out of 10.
Do you know where the referee is from? Do you know where
was he Polish?
Yeah, and who knocked out Poland?
France.
Yes, it was France.
France.
Yeah. Wow. And another interesting fact: Varane, all the finals that Varane has played, he's won, but the one final that he lost, that same referee was there.
Wow.
Yeah, I heard that as well yesterday.
Wow, that is scary.
Yeah, exactly.
Bems, referee's performance there. What did you think about him?
I mean, well, there was some, like people have said before, there was some of the fouls that I clearly saw 1 or 2 times Messi foul someone and it wasn't called. It wasn't given. It was just ridiculous, man. I can't remember when it was. There was one that man, I can't remember the moment, but there was one that was clear. That was clear to me. It's like, I mean, this is ridiculous. So I mean, obviously, they like the powers that be want Messi to win this World Cup. They've achieved that, and I mean, as far as all around referee decision making, I don't think it was too bad. I don't think it was bad in general, but there was just certain it wasn't, especially when it comes to Messi, because Messi's not a god, man. He does foul people, but whenever he fouls someone,
but he has an untouchable status, doesn't he?
Yeah. That's just the thing that I just don't like, is the fact that he's just untouchable when it comes to fouls. This is ridiculous. You can. Do you
think he knows that himself, that he gets away with it?
Of course. I think he knows that. I think he knows. See, like everyone has said, this tournament was set up for Messi. It was set up. It was how the hell do you get so many penalties in one tournament? It's ridiculous. Come on. It's like that clearly tells you is like any
touch,
if there's a
penalty.
If there's a touch, if there's something that looks like a foul in the penalty box, against Argentina, you just give it. Sorry, well, if Argentina gets fouled in the penalty box, whatever, just give it, because Messi's there. Messi's going to take it. Messi's going to score. We want Messi to win. I mean, you can even see there was all these quotes from all these football officials and the Arab people saying it would be nice to see Messi lift the trophy. It's time for Messi to attain his throne or whatever. I mean, ex-players saying this whole thing. It would be. I mean, Messi deserves to win this World Cup.
He don't deserve anything. Every player has a fair shout.
Everyone was singing the same song. Yeah.
Okay. Paris Saint-Germain, who are they owned by?
Well,
Qatar.
Yeah.
Qataris.
Yeah.
So it's a great advert for them.
Say again, what did you say?
It's a good advert for them. A World Cup winner play for them. That makes sense.
Paris Saint-Germain are owned by the Qataris.
Yeah.
Who's the flagship player for Paris Saint-Germain? Messi.
He's also the flagship person for this tournament. Everything is geared around the marketing machine is all geared around Messi.
It's clear.
Yeah, it's clear. So the Qataris played a blinder here.
Yeah, 100%.
Wow.
Did you notice that when Mbappe scored that first goal, the President Macron was up cheering, but all the Qataris behind him. No emotion, nothing. They just not a cheer, not a smile.
Exactly. Even though
it's almost like they were unhappy with it.
Guys, one thing I want to ask you:
to win this game.
That robe they gave to Messi, do you think they're going to give that robe to Mbappe? I don't. That robe looked like it was fit to made. It was made to measure for Messi.
No. To be fair, Kay, I think the captain of the winning World Cup winning team would have had that. I think it's like a Qatari. I did think about that. I can see why it's.
Well, I was thinking that. I've never seen that in any competition.
Okay. When was the last time that you saw a captain win a World Cup, get a robe? Never.
No, but this is Qatar. Though. I think it's an Arabian thing.
See,
yeah, it's an Arabian thing. Yeah.
Okay. Well, probably you're right, Ken. I do agree with you. But why is it so that Okay, the World Cup, right?
I get where you're coming. I did think about what you're saying.
Just set up
on the
It's just-
stages, and it's on the stage. It wasn't done
on the
like
stage.
afterwards. Yeah.
Everything was set up for Messi. It was set up for him from the get-go. Messi's got to win this thing because we have this road we want to.
It's his last World Cup. It's 35.
Yeah.
I get it. Yeah.
I mean,
you think he's retiring after this?
International, yeah.
International, yes. He'll be stupid not to retire.
Yeah.
I mean, why would you want to carry on and then fail in another competition and then go out on a win?
He needed to.
Yeah, it'll be stupid not to.
So you
He
think
should
he's
just
bowing out
announce it tomorrow. Yeah, just announce it tomorrow. Yeah.
They spent over 200 billion. They spent over 200 billion, right?
Yeah.
They spent over 200 billion to set this World Cup in Qatar.
Wow.
Over 200 billion. They're not going to make that money in this World Cup. For Messi to win it. They're not making that money in this World Cup. They're going to make it in future years. Like, because I heard that they built so many
he'll become a delegate. He'll become a FIFA delegate, 100%.
It's going to be Qatar. It's going to be the new Dubai. Just watch.
Yeah, but do you know, even to buy PSG, the Qataris did a deal with Macron.
Yeah.
For it to happen, and Macron had to influence Michel Platini's voting in the election, FIFA elections. That if Macron persuaded Platini to vote a certain way in favor of the Qataris winning the World Cup, then they will invest countless billions into France.
Into the country, yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
politics, all politics, man.
It's politics. And guys, did you know that Argentina had done a documentary for this World Cup?
Messi already?
The preparation. They've already done the documentary in preparation for Messi winning the World Cup. I bet you guys didn't know that.
You see?
No.
It's clear.
It's already on iPlayer, I think, already. I think it's on iPlayer as well.
Really?
They've got another one.
They've got another one now.
So they have done a documentary in his winning the World Cup.
No. Yeah, the documentary has not been released yet, but they've already been filming a documentary that's been in preparation of Messi's World Cup win. So tell me that isn't suspicious.
It's all it's all there, man. All the evidence is there.
Like a conspiracy. I don't even know what to say.
Well, it's a conspiracy until we can prove it. But
it is. I mean,
I'm looking at this bug about at the France camp, and they are suppressing it. The information is being suppressed. They don't tell you what the bug is, how it happened, who was affected. It's very, very suppressed.
It won't come out till later.
MERS virus. They said it was MERS virus.
MERS or a flu-like symptom. Did it get into the air conditioning?
How come it didn't affect the Argentina players then?
This is exactly what I'm saying. It only affects.
Because
it never happened during the tournament. It never happened during the tournament. It just happened 48 hours before they play the final. All of a sudden,
it happened. They're saying it happened after the England game, after that win. Because if you know, even against Morocco, they seemed a little bit sluggish,
right.
And it takes, I think the incubation period is like 5 or 6 days, so it takes time to spread throughout the whole camp. So 1 or 2 people catch it, and then the rest of the team catch it. So the timing was just perfect for everyone to be off form for the final.
Wow.
And that obviously disrupts your training and stuff.
Yes, it
does.
They
can't even train properly.
They can't
I
train.
thought Giroud was poor today. Okay, whatever happened. I thought Dembele was a liability. I thought Griezmann, he was having patches. Then until they took him off, I thought, where are they going to even get goals from? Because I don't know where. They took Griezmann, Dembele, Giroud off.
Rabiot and Tchouaméni were not good enough.
I thought Rabiot didn't do badly, you know.
Now, in the first half, him and Tchouaméni weren't getting the grips of the midfield.
They struggled.
Yeah, they were too far off the midfield. And that McAllister guy, he was taking a mick. Him and Messi were just...
Yeah, they were running through the French midfield like he wasn't even there.
That McAllister's good. He won the World Cup.
He plays for Brighton, you know. He plays for Brighton.
He plays for Brighton?
Yeah, he plays for Brighton.
He's done won the World Cup with Maradona.
The thing is, imagine you've got a competitive game tomorrow against a fairly good team, a consistent team, but that entire team has been suffering with COVID.
Yeah.
How do you think they will do? You can't breathe. Your energy levels are down. You feel weak. You've already got an advantage, haven't you? Even your worst player in your squad would be comparably better than their best player. So you've already
ended advantage.
severely weakened that team. And MERS,
yeah,
MERS is the
easy.
first version of COVID. It's the first strain, which is
That's what I
closely
heard.
related to COVID.
Right.
And we know what COVID symptoms are.
Right.
Exactly.
And now
Boy.
we've come to question time. Anyone got questions?
What do you think the
So-
narrative? Oh, sorry. Go on, Rich.
Go on.
Yeah, so now that this whole Ronaldo Messi debate
I
has
was
been
just
going
gonna
on
say
for years, how do you think this will end with the majority of people?
I think if I let me answer that first. I think as it stands now, with him winning the Holy Grail, I think Messi fans will say he's the greatest of all time. I think that would cement that
course.
there. But
They'll say.
you will all have the argument like, okay, he went from La Liga straight to French League. Ronaldo went from Premier League, Spanish League, Italian League, back to Premier League, and the Ronaldo fans will still hold. But with this World Cup now, it does tilt it down. But left to me, I just think that Holy Grail World Cup just gives him just that edge. And I know they're going to give him Ballon d'Or this year or next year to compensate, to go with this World Cup.
Of course, yeah. He's
Of course.
yeah.
Honestly speaking, man, when you come to the debate between Ronaldo and Messi, to me, I've always put them on the same level. I never wanted to say one's better than the other, just because I know that Messi has the trophies. He's got the World Cup now. He's got the Ballon d'Ors. He's got goals. He's got, but Messi's only done it in the Spanish league. He's only done it in one league, really, because I don't really consider the Farmers League. Paris Saint-Jacques, that's a Farmers League. That's not. I don't really rate that league. But if you look at Ronaldo, the dude has done it He's done it in the Premier League. He's done it in La Liga. He's done it in the Italian league. Come on, he trophies everywhere.
How many Champions League as well in different teams? Like
exactly, different. Yes.
Yeah, like people have got to put respect to that. And you know what else? When Ronaldo won the European trophy, no one said, "Oh, because he's got the international win, that he's better than Messi." Like it was almost like, it's the Euros. Whereas now you're gonna see
so they're always gonna try and put him down and say
every time
it is what it is. And when I went on social media, I just looked at it and Messi. Some people are still saying Messi is even better than Maradona and Pele. I'm like, okay.
How many did Maradona win? Did Maradona win two?
He won one World Cup. He went to two finals and lost.
He lost one final. Yeah, he lost one final.
Yeah, but do you remember what Maradona did at Napoli?
Yeah.
Napoli hadn't won anything. They were bottom of the league, and he went there.
He transformed. You know, he was on drugs. He was on drugs.
Yeah.
And every time he said, I never gave a drug test. I told my teammates to give their urine sample, because if I gave a urine sample, I'll be caught. So he always gave his teammates gave a urine sample while he kept providing the momentum to win for the team to win. It's funny.
Who was providing the drugs to him? Was the Italian mafia?
Yeah,
who had a massive stake in Napoli.
Yeah. That was it. Is.
It's like when Balotelli was at what's the club that was at, and it was run by the mafia. Oh, what's the club again?
The Italian club.
Yeah. Remember when he went back to a club in Italy and like it was basically run?
It's not Monza, is it? No, not Monza.
Sampdoria? No, what's Sampdoria?
Nah, it wasn't Monza, Sampdoria. I can't remember, but yeah, it's obviously during the corruption times. Like the corruption's always been in Italy anyway, but it's
still there. It's never gonna go. It's never gonna go.
But wherever there's money, there's corruption in it.
But there's corruption
there was
everywhere.
match fixing and all sorts. They're always doing all sorts like that.
There's corruption everywhere, but there's some countries that make it a little bit more
rife. Yeah, they
visible.
disclose it. Yeah.
So, any more questions?
Let me ask you a question. Do you think FIFA will ever be
clean,
uncorrupt? Yeah, clean.
Because there's too much money in it.
No way. They're always going to be
and too much power. You've got Mr. Infantile sitting with all the presidents. You know,
even in politics, you got lobbying. Lobbying is basically just buying votes and passing laws. It's all corruption, but it's just labeled differently.
So do you think that the biggest sport in the world, backed by this organization which is corrupt, is good for the sport? Is good for the game? How can there be reform if they have total?
You can only weed out so many corrupt presidents and leaders. There's always going to be other people in the background still pulling the threads. I mean,
And
they
influencing.
brought some of them down, but
Yeah.
is corruption still going on?
The problem is that you put whoever you put into that president's role, they ultimately get huge amounts of power and influence and money. You know, money that is made unofficially. And how can you ever stop that?
And then all it takes is for someone to know, have some dirt on you, and then it can already influence you. Say, look, if you don't do what we say, we're gonna get this effect. But even it goes back to the Russia World Cup. That was no one really talks about it now, but that was rigged. Like,
it's all been rigged.
Remember what Platini said? I sent you the article. He said they rigged it that France and Brazil don't meet to the finals. They made sure the two separate sides of the draw. It's sad.
I can't remember who it was. One of them got 5 million to rig the vote for Russia. I can't remember which one of them. But
you know all the ex-committee members, FIFA Exco, they all got around $1.5 million from Qatar. To vote that one. For them. You must have seen a documentary now, right?
I'm going to see that after the.
You need to watch that.
I'm going to watch it. I'm going to watch
FIFA Uncovered.
I'll go to watch it.
But even going back to the World Cup in 2002, there was some strange stuff going on as well in South Korea down there.
Yeah.
What happened in 2002?
Italy game, like some of the decisions that was going on.
Oh, they got robbed, didn't it? Korea. Was it Korea or Japan? Yeah, they got robbed. I remember that. Yeah.
It was unbelievable. I was like, what the hell's going on here?
Yeah.
It is sad. It is sad. So with the World Cup now going to America and Canada, Mexico in 2026.
Yeah.
What do you guys expect? I mean, it's still a long way. In fact, 3 years time, because we're already in December. So 3 years time from now.
I think there's going to be some dodgy stuff in the qualifiers. Yeah, because
I think there's going to be more countries. There are more countries now, right?
It doesn't feel right with Italy not being in the World Cup. Like teams like Italy have to be like, it doesn't feel like a proper World
Italy
Cup.
Italy have not gone to 2 World Cup back to back now. They hopefully need to be back in 2026.
And this is why they're trying to open it to more teams, because they want all the biggest nations there.
Yeah, and any World Cup without Italy is not a proper World Cup, man. You gotta have the Azzurri there. When the Azzurri, trust me, man.
You got to have the Azzurri.
Yeah, another racist country, but I just like them. You know, I mean, it's funny how these things work. You know, but
and man, you like all these racist countries. You're losing your identity, man.
So, all right, okay, I've got 2 questions each for everybody. Biggest disappointment in this World Cup, Vim.
Team or player?
Team, country. Biggest disappointment, Vim.
For me, a lot of bad decisions in the England versus France game, and ultimately losing that game, which I think we should have won. However, even if England had won, I still think we would have lost to Argentina in the final. Because it was
Someone asked me that. Did you think England would have been able to come back like 2-0 down?
There's too many forces at play in the background that would make sure it doesn't happen.
Probably could have been stunned by Morocco as well. You just never know.
I think they would have got. I think they would have passed. I think they would have beaten Morocco because Morocco have a fairly thin squad. You know, it's their main 11.
Man. This is England.
We have a lot of depth in our squad. So really, England should have been in this final, but we would have been runners up.
Nah, the Qatar people the boys they want to.
They don't want England because England have been against this LGBTQ.
All the teams that shoved them up. Or Germany.
Or Germany. Yeah.
Okay. Chris, biggest country that disappointed you in this World Cup? Like really, they really were like, oh wow.
I'll say Belgium wasn't really surprised because I knew those guys were going to get found out.
Belgium.
Chokers.
I would say I was disappointed by Germany.
Germany were disappointment.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to them. I thought with
2 World Cups in a row, they've not got out the group stage.
Yeah, I was very, very shocked and surprised because with the coach that they had, his name just skipped my mind at the moment. I would have thought they would have gone at least to
Hansi Flick.
Hansi Flick. But you know, it wasn't Hansi Flick that was a problem. It was someone else in the organization that they just got rid of. He was causing a lot of problems in the camp.
Yeah,
did you hear about that?
I heard something like that. I heard it, but I didn't know what was going on with them because they just don't seem to get out the group stage back-to-back World Cups.
Yeah,
Germany's always like in the top finals.
They're not a good tournament team, Germany.
Yeah.
Going back to what I was saying, like the Spain game, I thought,
Spain, another disappointment.
From this, but ultimately, Japan didn't cost them, and he never recovered from it. It was just, I was very, very surprised by Germany. I was not expecting that. I thought they would have gone on to at least the semi-finals. They, to me, they were the biggest disappointment. And also, I'll say Germany. I'll say Germany.
Okay.
Yeah,
Richard, biggest disappointment for you?
Germany, definitely. Belgium, they've not really achieved anything in their history, have they? So,
but they were ranked second in the world before the World
yeah,
Cup.
that ranking system
ranking's
is
rubbish,
nonsense.
man.
It's nonsense.
England always fifth.
Exactly, but a team like Germany, with all their history, they're known for winning things. They just didn't turn up. They didn't have anything up front. They were pretty toothless. I think the only bright spark was that Musiala guy, very good player.
Yeah.
But
definitely,
overall, they just looked disjointed, and they didn't look like any threat to the World Cup. So I'd say Germany were the
one thing that springs to mind is, do you remember Ronaldo? We used to talk about bad vibes and energy. That if you feel when he's coming onto the pitch at United, or when he was at the club for the past year and a half, he just felt a lot of bad energy, and it affects your play. Do you feel that these nations that had gone to Qatar maybe had not been greeted very nicely, or there was a bad energy around them? Things were geared up to make them feel unwelcome, and that may affect your state of play.
Germany went out there to prove a political point.
Exactly. Germany went there to protest.
I think they should. I think they should. You have to pull the country up on human rights. 6,500 people died. And you can't ignore that.
You can't ignore that. But at some point, you've got to focus on why you're actually there.
Exactly.
Exactly.
If you didn't want to, if you already knew the World Cup was going to be in Qatar, then instead of going there to protest, just don't qualify. Just don't qualify.
Do you know what I mean? We knew about this World Cup how many years ago?
In fact, instead of going there to protest, just don't qualify and get knocked out. We don't want part of it.
They can't do that to their own country. Remember, this is
just lose all your games. They can lose games.
But you're letting your country down. But this is a political platform as well, and that's the power of world football.
Right.
Is that if you feel that the nation state, the country hosting is doing things wrong, and you're representing your country in football, yes, it's more than just a sport. I think you have to use it as a political platform.
Yeah, but
if not, you're letting a lot of people down.
But look at all the other Western countries that have done stuff wrong in history. Nobody's been doing these big protests. The moment that it's a Middle Eastern or non-Western entity that hosts the World Cup, there's a big hoo-ha. The Americans in 1994, they hosted the World Cup. They've got another World Cup coming up. I love America, but they're not saints. England, we've hosted the World Cup in 1966. We're not saints. Or if you go across all the countries that have hosted the World Cup, Germany, in 2006, Germany.
Yeah. All these countries have committed atrocities in their past. But what about current?
You've got to put it to the side.
Imagine hosting a World Cup in America and 6,500 workers die because they don't have the right working conditions, or you're working them in extreme heat that they have heat stroke and fall off the scaffolding.
It's current form. What phone do you have at the moment? iPhone.
Samsung.
Samsung. When it comes to phones, Rich.
Yeah.
Where's the call come from?
He's making a point, though.
No, Vim, look, your phone is made from blood
diamonds.
In Congo. So are you going to stop using your Samsung today because of it? So many kids are dying to make your phone. So
then it needs to be publicized more. Because I didn't know that.
But that's the thing.
This is a platform.
That's the issue. That's the problem. It's hidden. It's hidden.
This is what we're trying to say. It happens all the time.
The workers that died over there, right? Not only were they had their passports taken away, they were forced to work without pay for 3-4 months. There's a lot of evidence out there already. Okay, the people that died, they covered it up by saying they did not die building the stadiums. Only 3 people died. It's a massive cover-up.
Rest in peace to those people. But look at the people that made your phone. The kids that made your phone. Thousands have died trying to make a phone for Vim.
Right. Okay.
Same thing happened in Brazil. Remember? but they didn't really talk about it as much. But it happened
So
in
this
Brazil,
is
it
for
happens all the
Samsung
time.
and Apple.
Yes,
most
both.
phones,
Any-
All
Cheap
phones.
labor.
Not just phones, any like
Electronics.
Cobalt,
technology,
laptops.
electronics. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you've mentioned that because I didn't know. But I also think that the people that have died in Qatar building these stadiums, they need a voice as well, and their
Yes, they
families
do.
need a voice.
That is right. Let's quickly move along. Chris, no, I've done. Brems, biggest disappointment to you in this World Cup? Biggest country disappointment?
Who was that for? Bems.
Bems.
Bems is on mute.
Do you want me to go?
Go, Ken.
Hey. Oh,
Ken, you go.
Yeah. So apart from what the guys have said, I'll
Hey,
say
guys, can you hear
Brazil.
me?
All right, Bems, let Ken finish.
Can you hear me?
Then you come
Yeah.
back. Yeah, we
Okay.
can hear you.
I'll say Brazil as a bit disappointment because
True.
dude,
that-
man, look at the squad. In terms of on paper, they had the best, like the most balanced squad. You got Casemiro there, the general. You got Paquetá. You got the defense, Marquinhos and Thiago Silva. You know, but then I think the manager let the team down. Tite, like playing this guy
Against Croatia.
Rafinha, you know, not giving what's his name, Anthony, a chance to shine, and he just some poor tactical decisions there. Brazil should be at least in the semi-finals.
Semi-finals.
I get what you're saying. What you're saying, Ken. I think with the Brazil coach, the other mistake he made was I think that Richarlison, to me, that I've mentioned.
I just don't rate that guy, but this me.
It's not a lead striker. They need a lead striker, and the other issue is they brought in too many wingers. They needed somebody in the middle, like kind of like a Xavi and Iniesta kind of player in the middle, which they're lacking Brazil, which is kind of strange to say.
Yeah, they've got DMs, but not like
attacking
mid or attacking midfielders.
They don't
have very
like
strange from Brazil.
Wow, kind of player. They miss someone like a
Deco,
to link the.
Deco,
So it links well with Neymar. They don't have that. They brought too many wingers there, and they don't have a top quality number 9, which was costly further down the line.
Right. So you agree with Richard, that you agree with kind of that Brazil were one of your biggest disappointments?
Yeah, I'll say that. Because I was shocked when I was with the Croatia game. I only started watching it like in the last 10 minutes, and then I watched the whole of the extra time. Yeah, and I was shocked by what I saw. They were very, very poor. It seemed
they lost on penalties though. No. I mean, they had Neymar did score a great goal. At 1-0 in extra time, you thought they could game manage it and shut it down.
But I think based on afterwards, I watched the whole of the game, and they just like fluency. They just weren't right. There was something not right about them.
There's something.
It just wasn't there. Yeah.
Okay. Bems, biggest disappointment.
Yeah. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I agree with Chris and Ken, man, with the Brazil one. That was the biggest disappointment. That's a team that was pretty much a lot of people were saying, oh, yeah, Brazil, Argentina in the final. I mean, Brazil should have made it to the final. They should have made it to minimum semifinal, minimum semis. They had 2 squads, basically. They had 2 squads that they could put out the second squad and could still perform and win games with that second squad. The way they went out, I know they went out to penalties, but in my opinion, that shouldn't have gone to penalties. They should have won that game in regular time or in extra. Well, they should have won that game in that extra time or in regular time. It should have been won because they have more quality, and you would expect that they would take that one home like easy. But for some reason, it kind of felt like Brazil started well, right? They started well. It's like they peaked. It's like they peaked, just like I don't know who said that. I guess probably was Ken. Sorry, it was Kay said it. That was a very that's very good statement from K right there, that you don't want to peak too early, because it seemed like Brazil just peaked early and they just went down. They just crash landed easy, and you could tell. Well, I mean, in their final game they lost, and then it's just sad. Brazil, with that squad they had, I mean, every position they had like two two
Yeah,
players
but it felt
in
like a
every
waste,
position.
like waste
Yeah,
of squad. You know, you got
yeah,
so many players as good like that.
man, it's ridiculous,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, you when you can okay, so when Neymar gets injured after the first game, and you say, oh, you know what, Neymar, just chill, just rest. We don't need you. We'll still make it out of the group. You make it out easily without Neymar. Come on, you have a squad, and then you have. I mean, yeah, it's just ridiculous, man. It's sad. They should have gone further. Yeah, I think there's a big disappointment.
Where's K? Biggest disappointment.
For me personally, like in terms of just in football, it'd be Germany. But for me personally, it's Brazil. Like the other guys are saying, it's just they just peaked too early, and I think they thought they'd cruise past Croatia. I think Fabinho should have come on. Yeah, Fabinho should have come on, or Fred. And it's almost like they just thought, oh, they're old. A lot of people didn't expect Croatia to do well. They just thought, oh, they did all right in the Euros, but they're just a solid team, and they play for each other, and it's just that squad was stacked. Apart from the strike, like Richarlison and Jesus, it was almost they were missing a quality striker, and I've never known Brazil not to have like a top striker. So it's just a shame really, but they've still got time. They've still got
2026
a lot of talent. They've still got a lot of talent. They'll always produce players. But yeah,
do you think this is Neymar's last tournament, or he'll be back?
Nah, he'll have one more definitely. He's what 20.
No,
20...
Neymar's not 20
He's
something.
31, I believe.
31.
Is he not 29?
Oh,
he's 31 though.
No, he's going to be 31 in February.
Oh yeah, February. Yeah.
Ooh, that's close.
Yeah,
I think he'll do one more. I think because it's like in the Americas. I think he'll be all right. One more.
You got to remember because he doesn't play in the Prem. He'll have a bit more longevity as well.
Yeah, probably.
Played in La Liga.
Right. Everyone's as the tournament's over. Your last words about Qatar. Summarize, Vim. Your last words.
I don't know if you can see my background, but this was taken 7 years ago.
Right.
These are stats from 7 years ago.
Right.
So Beijing Olympics, only 6 people died. That's 2008. 2010 South Africa World Cup, 2 people died.
They've definitely been rigged.
Vancouver 2010 Olympics, 1 person died. 2012 London Olympics, 1 person died. Brazil World Cup, 10 died. Sochi Olympics 2014, 60 died. 7 years ago, 1,200 workers had died. 7 years ago. Do you not think the Qataris can see they've got a problem with worker safety, that they could have corrected it? But
100%.
no,
obviously, mate.
It's gone up to 6, 7, 8.
You got to remember they're probably going to be like, these are the risks you got to take if you want to come and work.
No.
Even though it's not right, but I think all those figures there, I don't think any of them are reflective. Even the Qatari one, I think they've all been manipulated. Because the Brazil one, I remember they were talking about the Brazil one.
Yes.
People were just dropping off the stairs. People were dropping. They had videos of people falling off in Brazil.
It's like what what we've said, what you've talked about as well, Vim, about FIFA. There's corruption everywhere. You know,
there is.
Same, and the Arabs, they're not. I get to your point. The Arabs are not. They're not friendly to immigrants. Yeah,
no,
so we know that even in Dubai, Saudi Arabia, all those places. That's why even if you're born in Dubai, you know this, Vim. If you're born in Dubai, you never be an Emirati, as it's called. You would never be there. And the Emiratis, they're looked after. Like as soon as you turn 21, you get a house, you get land, you get car.
They look after their own.
Yeah. And even if you're born in Dubai, you would never get all that.
You're not seen as a native.
No, but then that's the problem with the sectarian beliefs. In terms of there's only one
superpower, super race
belief of religion that you should have. It's not really well. But anyway, look, the point is that 7 years ago, people were dropping dead building these stadiums. They had the chance to put things right, and they didn't. So they don't value.
But them, who's going to enforce that? Who's going to enforce that?
They have to enforce it themselves.
They're not going to do that.
Why not?
Because to them, it's like, what do they call it? Collateral damage. It's like when you go to war. Some people are going to survive.
This is not a war.
Yeah, I understand that, but I'm just saying.
This is about making Qatar popular. This is what sports washing is all about,
But
which is why they've gone to FIFA.
I don't think they're bothered about.
I don't think they're bothered about that, mate.
They should be.
They're bothered. They had a great World Cup was hosted. They won. We move it on in 4 years' time. It's no matter. It's out of our hands. All that they
shown that they can do it.
Yeah, but it seems too conflicted for me because this is all about sports washing and putting themselves on the public world map, saying we can host football matches, we'll bring you lovely stadiums. But on the flip side, you see all of this other stuff which is going wrong,
of course,
which makes you think they're not worthy. They're not worthy.
They're bothered. What is most important? They hosted the World Cup, and it was successful. See you guys in 4 years' time.
I don't think it was successful.
Just look at the Premier League. Look at how Abramovich came into the Premier League and bought Chelsea. They knew all his ties to Putin. They knew that he got that money from illicit means, but they weren't bothered until it suited them.
Well, yeah, I mean, a lot of the money that comes into London is from Russia.
Yes,
but now Putin is out of favor because of the war. Now they break ties with him.
But look at the history of America and Britain. Look at Saddam Hussein. They all go and do deals with all these different people, and then they did it with what's his name, the guy in Libya, Gaddafi, and then when it don't suit them, they lock them off.
But do you know now that Russia's cut off the UK's gas supply? You know where most of our gas is coming from?
It's, is it not China? What's it called?
Saudi Arabia or Qatar? I think it's Qatar as well.
It's the country we're talking about.
Yeah, Qatar.
Well,
publicly, the government cannot ostracize Qatar.
I remember what's his name again? Boris Johnson went there to kiss us, and he was like, "Please, we want you."
Right, but you know, Jim, is that your last word?
Sorry to talk about geopolitics, but I think it's just
it's related to football.
Tim,
it is.
There was a peace treaty between Russia and in the Ukraine. It's widely known. If you go on the internet, you'll see it. Boris Johnson said, "Do not sign this peace treaty," and this is all to do with the oil ties and them cleaning money and doing all these dodgy stuff. They're ready to do a peace treaty, but Boris Johnson said, "No, we are not. You are not signing this peace treaty with them. We want NATO to infiltrate and get closer to Russia." And it's all about everyone trying to.
But NATO was always set up to counteract Russia.
Exactly.
Anyway, we should have a topic on geopolitics one day.
I don't want to get locked off.
We won't. It's fascinating, man. Come on.
Don't want when they lock me up. I'll bring you on.
Locked up? Why would you get locked up? Just don't go to.
Vim, last word.
Oh, I think it's locked off.
Is it Lomachenko? They'll start putting that umbrella poison and stuff.
They might give you some of that bug they sent to France, the France camp. Anyway.
So, Vim, last word.
No, obviously, this channel is all about football, but we should also highlight these other topics, which I think, it's awareness, and the viewers should not be blind to the sports washing that is going on in our game, in our beautiful game. That's all.
Okay, Kenneth. Last words of this World Cup. Last words.
So I'll say best World Cup. For me. Yeah, so I'll say best World Cup of in my lifetime since I started watching football. I think.
Did you get a brown envelope with some cash in it? I wish you'd say that.
I wish I did, to be honest.
So you're open to brown envelopes?
No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
Argentinian friends.
It's been. I think in terms of, I'm just talking purely in the football.
Yeah.
On the football side of things, it's been the best World Cup. I mean, look at the final, how it ended. There was the unpredictability, the underdogs, the fact that the underdogs can come in and they can win, and it was just really good. It was just really good, and the atmosphere was good. The fact I'm looking at and listening to the podcasts of people that actually went there, like the fact that you can get from one stadium to another within 20 minutes, close. Can you imagine if in Europe, like having to go from London to one part of London to another part of London to watch? Yeah, that's good, man. You don't have to spend money flying from London to Manchester, or Scotland. But yeah.
Okay, thanks, Ken. Richard, final thoughts of the World Cup.
I think the final was brilliant. Best ever final I've seen. The games were good. I think some of the atmosphere in the earlier games was a bit flat. But from what I've heard, people who've been there, they've been treated very well by the locals.
Even the people that criticize it as well.
Exactly, the facilities have been top notch. And the one thing that I'd like to point out is the fact that there's been no alcohol in the stadium. So normally at World Cup, you see these incidents of hooliganism after games. You don't hear any of that because people aren't drinking and getting blasted from alcohol. Exactly. Yeah. So I think it's been a good World Cup. The refereeing and decisions, I would say that it's been quite poor. And things have looked favorably upon the bigger teams like Argentina. But overall, I think the entertainment factor was there. And it's weird it being in the winter, but I like the fact that it's in the winter now, and then we're going back to the Premier League around Christmas. So it's kind of strange.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I've liked it. Yeah.
Thank you, Richard. Bems, last words of Qatar 2022.
Yeah, I think this was hands down the best World Cup I've seen, especially the best World Cup final, in my opinion. It went down to the really end. At first, you thought it was going to be won by Argentina, but France came back, and then that made a much better World Cup. I mean, as far as like the groups, like the knockout stages, I think it was it was good to see the underdogs win. A lot of the underdogs won, Saudi
Arabia, Japan,
Saudi Arabia,
Morocco as well.
Morocco, that was exactly. That was nice to see. It was nice to see that that made the World Cup even more interesting. So it was like anyone can beat anyone, and it was nice to see that. I think no team won all 3 of the group stage games. That was nice to see too. So I'll say pretty much one of the best, or if not the best, World Cup I've watched. So it was a good. The only thing that I just didn't like was that I just felt it was just written for Messi. It was kind of just let Messi win it. Right. So that's just the only thing. But apart from that, it was a good World Cup, man. So
okay, thank you, Ben. Chris.
Yeah, I pretty much have to agree with what everyone's been saying. The final itself was just absolutely unreal. It was like up and down, constant changes. You don't know what's going on. Like with this tournament throughout, from the beginning to the end, it's just been very, very unpredictable. A lot of shocks. Like we've been talking about, a lot of the underdogs coming up and winning. I thought that was a good change to what we've seen in World Cups. But there are always shocks. But this tournament had many
major
more shocks than we expected. I'll say the officiating was a bit
inconsistent.
Well, very inconsistent, should I say? Because you had some games where a guy hardly gets touched in the penalty area, and then the similar kind of incident happens in another game, and it's a penalty. In another game, the referee just continues playing the game as if nothing happened. So the officiating was very, very questionable. To me, initially, I was really, really unsure about it being in December, but somehow it's worked.
Yeah,
I don't know how, but they've managed to pull it off Qatar, and it's been a tournament which will go down in history or was one of the most memorable ones. I'm not sure if it would be the best for me, but it definitely will be memorable and historical in terms of the huge amount of drama that was going on, and also like the story of Morocco. You could say the MESI context as well, but with that, on top of that, you can also say there were a lot of stuff which faded. There was a lot of officiating which was favouring Argentina as well. I would say the amount of money spent on it, I don't think we'll ever see a tournament spend 220 billion again. That was just something else. Something else. But overall, I'd say the tournament's been a success. I've really enjoyed it.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, I thought it was a good World Cup. I think, like you said, the officiating was a bit. I think it 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 was a bit. at first I was buying into the hype that it's the Winter World Cup, did it? But I thought I'd give it a chance, and it's change. Sometimes it's good to have change. Obviously, they spent a lot on it. They've been hospital. Obviously, every World Cup or every major tournament has its hiccups. I heard during getting to the games was good, but I heard after games there was a problem where fans couldn't. They were just locking off roads and putting like bollards and stuff sometimes. So I think that was a problem with some of the things.
Yeah, I did hear about that as well. And of course, one of the things I want to brush aside, you always have issues with tournaments. So I'm just looking at the whole thing. From what I could see, everything looked.
But apart from that, spectacular. The whole apart from that, I think it was a good tournament. Obviously, the refereeing let it down a little bit. But yeah, I thought it was a good tournament, and they've done well.
Okay, right, gentlemen. Go on, Chris.
Tim, I'd also add that the only thing with this tournament, I think we touched on it. We've mentioned it before. Is the lack of. We haven't seen enough top quality strikers. That's the only thing about the tournament.
You're very correct.
Which is kind of strange.
Yeah. That's what the World Cup's known for.
Yeah, we haven't really like Mbappe. He's more of a forward instead of a striker.
Yeah, he's not a striker. No,
he's not a striker.
He's not a centre forward.
Neither is Messi.
Hopefully, Haaland can make the next one.
Yeah, we'll see. I think that to me that's the only disappointment. I haven't really seen.
What about Cody Gakpo? We've got to see a bit of him, and now he's supposed to be coming. He's coming to United, isn't he? 40 million.
Well, we'll see.
Looks like
still there.
Chris, adding to what you're saying. This is why they're going to add more teams, because they want people like Salah, Haaland. They want all these big.
They want all the people to be there.
But it also means more revenue as well by having more teams.
Exactly. Because they're the poster boys, aren't they? And people will travel to see them.
So overall, I would say for a December World Cup, which we'll never experience in our lifetime, but I think they pulled it off. I think Qatar pulled off this World Cup.
I'll give it an 8 out of 10.
I'll give it a 7.5. I would say the officiating was inconsistent. Some referees didn't well balling, but overall, I thought it's good to see the underdogs, the Morocco, Saudi Arabia, the Japan coming out of the groups and really upsetting the top nations. But that's all the beautiful game. But as you can see,
that's Argentina football, though, isn't it?
That's not. Argentina won it. Was it good for Argentina? In most ways, it looked like they really, really wanted this to be a swan song for Qatar and Messi to go out at the top. But this is football at its highest. But it's been a great. I'm going to miss it, actually. It's going to be great. But all good things come to an end, as they say. We're back to Premier League. I say next week is MANUTD and Burnley in the Carabao Cup.
Sorry, one final thought, actually. I know that you guys do partially support England at BEMS. I'm not sure if you do, but Gareth Southgate staying on.
He's staying on.
Yeah, what's your thoughts on that?
Has he made his decision?
I don't support England anyway. So,
I mean, Joe said it. What did Joe say? You just said condolences to
England.
to you Brits. So sorry. It's gonna be a long ride for you guys.
Yeah, but do you know the players want him to stay?
That's to tell you how
mediocrity.
Yeah.
That's to tell you how very weak-minded those players are too. It's the whole.
They don't want. I mean, think about it. I don't think they want change.
The thing
English
is, though,
should be winning stuff. Should be.
Yeah, we should
Easy.
be. We should be.
Easy.
But do you remember the state of England? And Richard, is he gone? Oh, you're here. Richard, do you remember how the state of England prior to Gareth Southgate? We were shambles. We were like, sometimes we'd even struggle to qualify. And now they're saying that basically Gareth has harmonized this England team, this England camp, and he's made.
Oh, they went to World Cup in 2018. They came
went
to Euros, came second.
That's
World
with
Cup,
Gareth.
Tops. They got the
I'm gonna bet my mortgage on it.
Let me present
Gareth
you a
Southgate will
stat.
not win anything with this English squad.
Okay, guys. England under Gareth Southgate's tenure, they've faced the top 10 teams in the world 24 times. They've only won those games on 4 occasions.
Well, I saw that. You sent that on Twitter.
They only beat mediocre teams.
Yeah. So the whole Southgate thing is a whole.
Yeah.
I think Jamie O'Hara summed it up nicely. He said, if you need someone to get you out of the group, get you into the latter stages, then Gareth Southgate's your man. But if you want someone to actually win something, then he's not your man.
He's not your man. Oh well.
Yeah.
So it looks like he's taking England to the next
Jamie O'Hara,
2026 World Cup, then, eh?
Not World Cup. No,
the Euros. The
Euros. Then his contract ends.
But I think he's going to
Euros is in
continue on
2024.
because when we get to the Euros,
18 months. In
18 months.
Yeah.
18 months.
yeah.
We'll see how that goes.
So,
gentlemen,
So the thing is, though, I wasn't keen.
Give him again.
Sorry, I wasn't keen on Gareth staying either. But we don't have any say in the matter. Who's a good replacement for him? Can you think of anyone? If they had.
Mourinho don't want that.
Poch.
Not Poch. Poch is not a big game winner.
Mourinho will have a few games in the tournament.
Yeah,
he can do something.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, Mourinho. Yeah, Mourinho's not a bad. It's not a bad.
Mourinho is being tipped to replace Santos for Portugal now. They actually wanted to take the job on part-time.
that would
be very dangerous on the
if he goes to Portugal, they'll be very, very dangerous. They'll be dangerous.
Dangerous to them guys.
They'll be hard
and
to
he's
beat.
Portuguese too.
Yeah, he's Portuguese. Yeah. They'll be there. He'll
That's a
get
nice
emotional.
fit right there.
He'll get his emotions into it. He'll get them all singing and dancing and throwing.
The thing is,
scarves and stuff.
he's got strong ties to England, man. He's had most of his career here.
Yeah.
So, and he's not Mr. Popular in Portugal. A lot of Portuguese don't like Mourinho.
They don't like him,
as they don't like Ronaldo.
If he wins them a tournament or win their World Cup, they'll love him.
It could change his fate. Yeah.
All right, gentlemen, this has been a great journey. Qatar has been an experience. It's been. I've enjoyed this World Cup. I've literally enjoyed it.
Yeah,
I've enjoyed it, and I will miss it. It'll take me like a week to World Cup's done actually.
Especially the 10 o'clock kickoffs.
We suffered because it was in the morning for us. At least you guys are in the evening.
Yeah.
For us, it's the morning.
Football for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
I know.
Yeah, at work, 2 monitors, one on football, one at work.
Yeah.
Nice.
But now it's back to reality. As Soul to Soul used to say, back to life, back to reality. It is what it is. Well, I want to thank the UK crew. I know it's late for you. I want to thank Vim, Richard, Chris, Kay, and Ken. Thank you very much for your time this evening. World Cup 2022 has ended. I want to thank Benz, the lone standing. Devin had to go, so Benz is holding the US flag for us here. Benz, thank you very much for joining us. This trophy is going to Argentina, and Messi is taking it home. Well, that's the game, and that's football. Argentina.
Can you get an autograph from Messi when you see him, please?
Huh?
Can you get an autograph from Messi when you see him?
Without a doubt. I will send that. So next we'll think about what happens to Ronaldo next. We'll talk about that during the week. It is what it is. Gentlemen, thank you very much. Have a great evening and have a great week. Okay. We'll keep you posted. Guys. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and share our content. Take care, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.